service changes for FY23. My name is Bob Melnati, and I'm the administrator of the BRTA. Raleigh Kane is the general manager of the BRTA's operating company. And I'm going to cover a few housekeeping items before we begin. First, attendance is documented as part of our public participation process. So that's why I asked for a name on the phone number, and anyone else who comes in, I will do that also. This meeting is being recorded. We're going to be covering about 50 slides, so please take notes during the presentation, as questions on the specific slides can be added to the chat feature, and then we will answer those as time allows. We have allotted 2-hour time limit for this meeting, and a little overview of why we're here tonight. You will see the presentation that the BRTA Advisory Board received at the end of February. We're here to gather public comments on this proposal, and we're to assemble the comments received during the public comment period and present them back to the board at their meeting in April. And a few of the reasons why these changes were proposed. We have some grant funding from Mass DOT that is set to expire on June 30th, which is the end of our fiscal year. We're looking to improve scheduling and service efficiencies, and we're setting the groundwork for some future plans like electrification, express bus, and microtransit projects. Raleigh has up on the screen right now the agenda. We'll be following that. So please refer to that for the timeline. We've allotted 45 minutes to run through the presentation, 20 minutes for clarifying questions, some ground rules for the public comments, and up to 45 minutes for public comments to be received. And then we'll wrap up the meeting. So with that, I will pass it off to Raleigh, and I'm going to go off camera. Thank you.
One sec to set up the screen here. Okay. Alrighty. Give me 1 second.
You're still on the agenda.
I haven't switched it over yet. Just moving all my little buttons around here. Awesome. All right. So to start with, we are going over the BRTA's proposed service changes for FY23. As Bob had mentioned, my name is Raleigh Kane. I'm the general manager for BTM, the contracted operator for BRTA. And we're just going to go through each slide. I'm going to read most of the text in each slide and kind of give some context around the changes. First off, we have a short synopsis. What is the authority? BRTA is one of the 15 regional transit authorities in Massachusetts. Each one, looks to gets people to work, to school, to doctor's appointments, and to the grocery store to visit family, and so much more. Why do we have to plan service changes? Well, sometimes changes in staffing, vehicles, or funding require us to make changes. That's part of this process. As Bob had mentioned, we are proposing changes. We're soliciting comment, and we will review the comment before proposals are finalized to the authority board. And that's what we're about to see. So without further ado, we'll review the timeline. You are at public meeting number 2. This is today, Wednesday, March 16th. It is 6:33. There's one more virtual public hearing on Friday, March 18th at 1:30 p.m. And then we are also holding 2 in-person meetings the following week on Thursday, 24th and Wednesday, the 30th. The comment deadline for public comment is April 15th before midnight. Proposals will be finalized on May 15th. The finalized plans will be published in June, and service becomes effective July 1st, 2022. That's a Friday. And those plans will be as approved by the board. So after we take the comment back to the board, they'll review and approve the plan. Any finalized plans proposed will be published in June for a July effective date. How can you submit comments? Well, you're already at one spot. So you can submit comments today verbally or in writing in the Q&A function of Zoom. can also do it in person. If you're interested in submitting a comment, please in the chat feature, send a note because myself and Bob will be able to see them, and we'll call on everyone in order. If you're on the phone, you want to hit *9. That will raise your hand, and you'll be able to be called upon that way. You can also send us a written comment through the contact us form on the website, in person, at the upcoming public meetings, always by email at info@berkshirert.com. You can do it by mail by sending a letter to the authority at 1 Columbus Avenue in Pittsfield. Or by phone, we have a voicemail box, toll-free 1-800-292-2782, extension 2895. Copies of the presentation that you're about to see today are available right now on our website. They're also available in person or by mail, and that information is below. So our proposed service changes this round have several goals. Chief among them, we need to maximize the use of our existing services through improving scheduling and connections between routes. We are, as Bobby mentioned, losing some grant funding, and we're looking to maintain as much of that as possible. We're doing that through some service rearrangements. We are looking to continue to develop Main Street North Adams as a northern mobility hub for BRTA, a northern transfer station in future planning iterations. And we need to revise the service to accommodate future electric vehicles. Right now, the service is not very accommodating to vehicles. We are moving towards that, and this is a first step in that process. We're also going to be introducing a microtransit pilot program. Microtransit is a type of transit service that connects customers to and from specific locations. We're looking to pilot a service like that, and we'll go over some details at the end of how that might work. The overall changes can be categorized into certain buckets, so to speak. So bus schedule adjustments, route travel pattern adjustments, bus stop name, location, or changes relating to bus stops. Excuse me. We're adding some service, a little bit of service onto some bus routes, reducing service on others, and we are proposing to discontinue 2 routes entirely. We are going to present the changes in numerical order of the bus routes, starting with 1 and then ascending the 2, 3, 4, 5. So route 1, whenever for these slides, you'll see the changes are broken into categories such as all days, weekdays, and Saturdays. That means that those changes are affecting either every day or only weekdays or only Saturdays. On a few slides, you may see that, for instance, Saturdays will have the comment as none. That means there are no specific changes affecting Saturdays, not that we're not operating Saturday service on that bus route. So there's no specific changes to Saturdays. So we'll start with Route 1. Route 1 is our bus route runs from Pittsfield to North Adams. For every day, we are proposing to relocate the existing bus service from Plastics Ave and Merrill Road for the bus to remain on Dalton Avenue for the entire distance between Tyler Street and Cheshire Road. We're looking to add a time point to facilitate that change at Dalton Ave and Thorndike Street, and also on the other side at Dalton Avenue in Connecticut. This will connect with the change we're making to the Route 4, or proposing for the Route 4, and we'll go over that when we get to it. Also, as part of that change, we are looking to add service to Allendale Plaza, available in both the north and southbound direction. This provides some connection to the new rail trail extension and also some affordable grocery shopping. It also provides a bit of a transfer point between the Route 1, which is our most popular route by far, and some of the other Pittsfield-centric routes without having to come into the station. We are looking to amend service to the Berkshire Mall by making it demand service. Demand service is a type of service within the authority where customers can request a pickup or a drop-off at this location, but it's not like a scheduled stop. So the bus will only go there as requested or as demanded. We are looking to remove the Cheshire Loop, and we'll see a map of that in a second. The Cheshire Loop is what we refer to as the distance within Cheshire of Church Street, School Street, and Richardson Street. As part of that, we would keep the bus on Mass Route 8, and we would look to work with Cheshire to identify a couple areas in the town center to create a Cheshire Center bus stop. All these changes, we're hoping to maintain the current expanded evening service, and the bus service currently operates until about 11:30 in the evening. For Saturdays, we're looking to add 1 half trip in the morning, departing the transit center downtown Pittsfield ITC at 6:30 a.m., arriving at Walmart for 7:30 a.m. The bus would then continue as Route 34 into North Adams. And also on Saturdays, we're looking to add one half trip in the evenings, departing Walmart North Adams at 7:30, arriving downtown Pittsfield at 8:30. And these are the maps I was talking about before. So this is the Allendale Plaza routing change. As you can see on the left-hand side, we have the current, let me pick the different maps here. We have the current map, so the service comes down Dalton Avenue, Plastics Avenue, Merrill Road before continuing on Mass Route 8, north or south. What we're proposing is the bus will stay on Dalton Avenue, service Allendale Plaza inside the plaza before continuing north, or if it comes south, it will continue south into the plaza and then Dalton Avenue into Pittsfield. On the far right, we have a picture of what that looks like to current bus connections. So the Route 1 change here is on Dalton Avenue. Routes 4 and 14 and 12 all connect with it in the Stop and Shop Allendale Plaza area. This is a map of the Cheshire Loop change. Currently on the left, we have the Cheshire Loop, which is Church Street, School Street, and Richardson Street. Our proposal just has the vehicle remaining on Route 8. Currently, this area only receives service every 2 hours. Our proposal is just to every hour it would remain on Route 8. For all the timetable changes you'll see, we've highlighted the areas that are changing. For instance, at the top here, we have name and bus stop location changes. And in the timetable, any time that is changed from current has also been highlighted. The letter R here in the Berkshire Mall column signifies request. So request only. It directs the customer to call in to request a pickup. And if you're on the bus, you just let the driver know you want to get off there and they'll let you off. This is the Saturday timetable. Again, we have the same name changes at the top and some time changes within the bulk of the schedule. For Route 2, this is our Pittsfield to Lee route. For all days, we are proposing to add service to Bosque Mountain Park on Dan Fox Drive in Pittsfield, available in both directions. Currently, the bus only goes as far as Stop and Shop. By adding Bosque as a demand service location, we're able to provide some opportunity for employees or tourists to get to and from the mountain without having to schedule the bus there every hour. For weekdays, we're going to add one half trip. That's an inbound departure from Lee Premium Outlets at 6:30 a.m., arriving downtown Pittsfield at 7:20 a.m. And on Saturdays, we're looking to add one complete round trip, departing Pittsfield ITC at 5:30 p.m., departs Lee Premium Outlets at 6:30 p.m., and arrives back to Pittsfield ITC at 7:20 p.m. We'll see that change here in a second. So the Monday through Friday one half trip edition here is the highlighted portion between 6:30 and 6:47. For Saturdays, we've added one 5:30 round trip, downtown Lee at 6:30, back to downtown Pittsfield at 7:20. Route 3. Route 3 is our bus that services between Williamstown and North Adams. Williams College is in the western terminal, downtown North Adams on the eastern side. For all days, we're looking to add Greylock Valley Apartments to the schedule in both directions. This provides service directly to the housing complex on Grant and Greylock Avenue, and Grand Street and Greylock Avenue. We're also looking to, as I mentioned in the beginning, kind of gear Main Street North Adams towards becoming a mobility hub. As part of that, we're looking to better align the existing connecting routes of 3 and 34. The 3 will now arrive and depart, or is proposed to arrive and depart from Main Street North Adams at 15 minutes past the hour. And then it will have a direct time connection with the Route 34 at 15 minutes past the hour. For weekdays, we're going to add one half trip, departing Williamstown Rotary at 5:45 a.m., arriving at Main Street North Adams at 6:15 a.m. This is a time connection with the first Route 34 for service down to Walmart North Adams and then on to Pittsfield. And we're looking to add one complete round trip on weekdays, departing Williamstown Rotary at 6:45 p.m., then departing Main Street North Adams at 7:15 p.m., arriving back at the Rotary for 7:45 before the bus returns to the bus garage via US Route 7 and Crane Avenue in Pittsfield. This is a map of the routing change for Greylock Avenue Apartments. So currently on the top picture, the bus remains on Mass Route 2. What we're proposing is the bus will deviate into the apartment complex before continuing to or from North Adams. For the weekday schedule, we have a couple name changes up here with the addition of the Greylock Valley Apartments, as you can see. This is the addition of the 1/2 trip, bit of a change in the time on the second morning trip, and one full round trip in the evening from 6:45 to 7:45. For Saturday, there is only a 1/2 trip addition and the same bus stop name changes. Route 4. Route 4 is our service that travels between Pittsfield, Dalton, and Hinsdale. And Route 4 is probably have the most substantial changes in this proposal. For all days, we are proposing that the route will shift its departure time from the transit center to 30 minutes past the hour to correspond with the other routes that arrive and depart Pittsfield ITC 30 minutes past the hour. The way that BRTA is scheduled is what's defined as a pulse system, where all routes converge downtown at regular interval. Customers can get off one bus and onto another to make a time transfer, and then all the buses leave at the same time in their respective directions. Currently, the Route 4 departs the station either 5 minutes past or 20 minutes past the hour throughout the day, so we're looking to shift that back to 30 minutes past the hour so it better aligns with the other routes at the station. We are also going to schedule a 120-minute service headway, which means there will be a Route 4 bus departing the station every 2 hours. This is due to the ongoing staff shortage. We currently operate this route every 2 hours, even though it's scheduled every hour. It was supposed to be a temporary change, but unfortunately it looks like it will have to remain for a bit longer. Under this plan, we will look to schedule for 2-hour headways and then restore hourly service as our circumstances change. As I mentioned with the Route 1, there will be new bus stops created, hopefully on Dalton Avenue at Thorndike in Connecticut. And this way, the bus can make a connection with the Route 1. However, this bus would still service Plastics Avenue and Yarrow Road in both directions. So that part of the service is not changing. Currently, Route 11 is connected to Route 4 at the station. The bus will come in as Route 4 and then depart as Route 11, and kind of just does that all day. We, under this proposal, are looking to separate the two, and they will operate independently of each other. However, there will still be a timed connection at the station. We are looking to discontinue service along the Franklin Street loop, and by that, we refer to service along North Street, Franklin Street, Pleasant Street, and Daly Avenue. It is currently a loop-only service in one direction. With this change, the bus would just remain on Mass Route 8 between Hinsdale Center and Dalton Center. We're looking to add bidirectional service along the Park Avenue loop, which is what we refer to as the area of South Street, Park Avenue, High Street, and Curtis Avenue, which is also only currently serviced in the inbound direction. We're looking to add service in both the inbound and outbound directions. Both these changes will help us to potentially identify a Dalton Center bus stop, which would be an area we could build up with other amenities, perhaps at Main and Curtis or Main Street and at the library. The potential is for a waiting shelter or some sort of other passenger amenities in the future, like a light or some seating or something perhaps. We'd work with the city or the town to kind of work through that. And we're looking to add a time point, which a time point is an area along a bus route where the bus is a guaranteed departure time from, and the vehicle is required to stop it along every trip. So we're looking at a time point at Park Avenue and High Street in both directions. This will highlight the route's access to the Appalachian Trail for the AT through hikers. Currently, a lot of hikers use Route 4 to get to and from Walmart. We're looking to lean into that a bit more and give them some signage and some better availability. For weekdays, we're going to add one complete round trip, departing Pittsfield ITC at 5:30 a.m., departing Hinsdale Center at 6:20 a.m., and arriving downtown Pittsfield at 8:10 in time for the 8:30 a.m. Pulse connections. We're also going to add one complete round trip, departing Pittsfield at 7:30 p.m., Hinsdale Center at 8:20 p.m., and arriving back downtown ITC Pittsfield at 9:10 p.m. This additional trip should provide connections between the evening's routes 1, 2, and 14, and kind of gives more flexibility for second and third shift workers in the Walmart area, as well as the Dalton, Hinsdale, and areas of Pittsfield with Route 4 services. On Saturday, we're looking to run the same schedule as the weekday. However, it's just an abbreviated service day. So the route and the bus route wouldn't do anything differently on Saturdays. It would just have a shorter service day. And that's a theme throughout a lot of these proposals. We're looking to have Saturday mirror a weekday service, just the overall service day is a bit truncated. For Route 4, we're going to see a few maps here. I'm going to try to talk through it. So currently in the outbound direction, which is to the right is Hinsdale, to the left is Dalton and Pittsfield. Currently in the outbound to Hinsdale direction, the bus stays on Mass Route 8. What we're proposing is that the bus will deviate up to Park Avenue, down Curtis Street, before continuing along its current path to Hinsdale Center. This is the current inbound map. The bus will currently leaves Hinsdale, travels along the Franklin Street loop, and then the Park Avenue loop before continuing to Pittsfield. What we are proposing is that the bus will stay on Mass Route 8 until Curtis Street, which point it will do the Park Avenue loop, and then continue to Pittsfield. For the Route 4, the entire bulk of the timetable is highlighted yellow because that time change at the station to 30 minutes past the hour requires time changes along every other stop in the route. And we are doing some name changes up here. You see Dalton Center is highlighted more prominently, Appalachian Trail, and Park Avenue. For Saturday, in the same timetable, bus stop name changes, and then the rest of the timetable has been amended. And as you can see illustrated in the timetable, service every 2 hours, 7:30, 9:30, 11:30, 1:30, and the same for weekdays, beginning at 5:30, 7:30, 9:30, 11:30. So that's what we mean by service every 2 hours, every 120 minutes. For the Route 5, so the Route 5 is my favorite bus route. It travels between Pittsfield ITC and Lanesboro Center. And we're looking to make some improvements to this bus route. We're looking to make it go a little bit faster. So for all days, we would like it to arrive at the station about 5 minutes sooner. Right now it arrives at 20 minutes past the hour. We'd like it to arrive at 15 minutes past the hour. That allows more time for transfers between bus routes before the 30-minute departure. And we're also looking to create a split service option between Inona Street and Wacona Street and service on North Street and Crane Avenue. Each branch would have a service every other hour, alternating, and both routes would travel inbound and outbound along the same roads. To kind of differentiate these branches, we are looking to label one as Route 5A, which would be the current travel pattern of the route. It's Linden Street, Inona Street, X Road, Wacona Street, before traveling on North Street between Lanesboro Center and Wacona Street. We're looking to add the Route 5B, which would be the alternating every hour service. That service would be provided along Center Street, Seymour Street, Berkshire Medical Center, and then North Street, straight to and from Lanesboro Center. And the 5B will be a replacement for the Route 16, which we'll get to in a minute, but we are proposing to eliminate Route 16. In its place, we'll offer Route 5B every other hour. We're looking to also add 2 demand service locations onto Route 5. The first being the Mount Greylock Visitor Center. It's a wonderful natural resource in Massachusetts, and I think we can provide some service to it easily with Route 5. And we're also looking to add, that will be available on each pattern, 5A and 5B. However, we're looking to add the Oak Hill apartment complex on Crane Avenue as demand service onto the Route 5B. So if you're a customer that currently gets the bus in or around the Oak Hill apartment area, you'll be able to request a demand service location, a demand service request to the apartment complex. The bus will come and pick you up to and from Pittsfield both directions. For Saturdays, the route currently operates every 120 minutes. Under our proposal, we're looking to operate it hourly, so every 60 minutes between 7:30 a.m. and 6:15 p.m. We can see here illustrated Route 5A and 5B under the proposal. So Route 5A is the current travel pattern of Inona Street, Lakeway, Valentine, Pex, and Wacona, to and from. 5B proposed would be Center Street and Seymour Street before service in the hospital, and then turning left onto North Street to and from Lanesboro Center. This is the proposed timetable for the new Route 5. As you can see, 5A, 5B, 5A, 5B. and every other hour alternating. So 5A would be at 5:30, 7:30, 9:30, 11:30, whereas 5B would operate on the even hours, 6:30, 8:30, 10:30, 12:30. And the route would run every hour, Monday through Friday, and also on Saturdays. Oh, I've reached the end of this PowerPoint. Okay. All right, let me just make sure we can also see it. Alrighty. So Route 11. Route 11 is the bus service that currently travels along West Street to and from ITC and BCC, Berkshire Community Center, Berkshire Community College. For all days, like I mentioned in the Route 4 description, we're looking to disconnect it from the Route 4. This way, both routes will operate independently with a timed connection at the station with the other bus routes on the half-hour mark every hour. We're looking to simplify the time points. We're going to only offer a time point, like I mentioned, is an area of a bus route where the bus is required to stop. We're looking to kind of simplify that. It keeps the bus moving a bit faster to be one in each direction, which I'll illustrate in the timetable. And we're looking to remove service from the Wayfair Clock Tower Plaza parking lot. However, customers will still be able to access the plaza and the whole entire Clock Tower complex from West Street. So they'll be able to get off by Big Y, walk over to the Clock Tower to and from. Weekdays, it'll be hourly service between 6:55 a.m. and 1 with a short break, and then from 2 to 5:25. Saturdays, largely the same deal, but beginning at 9:35 a.m. to 1, and then again from 2 to 5:25. This is the Route 11 proposed timetable. As you can see, we have the ITC, one time point, ECC, one time point, and then back to ITC. Saturday, same idea, but beginning at 9:35 until 5:25. Okay, Route 12. So Route 12 and Route 14 are mirror services. They operate largely in the same territory. So we'll start with Route 12. For all days, we're looking to relocate the William Street Plaza bus stop to William Street. Currently, it's in the William Street Plaza parking lot. We're looking to take the bus out of the parking lot and have it remain on William Street. And the customers will be able to catch the bus from William Street, right where the current shelter is, just on the other side. For weekdays, we're looking to add service starting from Downing Garage at 5:50 a.m. And on Saturdays, we're looking to start service from the Downing Garage at 7:50 a.m. That's about a half-hour improvement in the service day in the morning. So for weekdays, the service currently starts at 6:30 a.m. We're proposing for it to begin at 5:50 a.m. at Downing Garage, as illustrated by this top line. And on Saturdays, instead of beginning at 8:30 downtown, it will begin at 7:50 at the garage, continuing along its normal travel pattern to ITC. Route 14, as I mentioned, 12 and 14 are mirrors of each other. So if Route 12 goes one direction, the 14 goes the other direction. We're going to make the same William Street Plaza change on the Route 14. Therefore, just relocate the bus stop to William Street. Customers will be able to pick it up from there. And we're looking to change this route's travel pattern. It currently travels East Street to Attery Street and then to East Street, Attery Street, onto East Elm and Newell. We're looking to make the change, and I'll illustrate it in a map here in a second, where the bus will travel down East Street, take a right onto Elm Street, and then a left onto Newell Street. And that way will completely mirror the Route 12. It currently only has one area of the route where it doesn't match up. Weekdays, we're also going to add a slight improvement in the mornings like we are doing in Route 12, and I'll illustrate in the timetable. Service will begin at 6:34 a.m. Downing Garage. We would look to kind of curtail the extended evening service a bit in the evening. Currently ends at 10:35 at the station. 10:35 at the garage. Looking to end at 10 o'clock at the garage. So about a half an hour less in the evening. And this maintains most of the expanded evening service. It just curtails a bit of an unproductive portion. This is the routing change I had mentioned. So currently on the left-hand side, we have the bus servicing the full length of East Street before traveling to Attery Street. Under this proposal, it would travel Elm Street, Middle Street, before East Street. This bus only ever travels in one direction. Okay. This is the proposed timetable for Route 14. Let me get this here, and it's a little bit better. Okay, a little bit better. For Route 14, we can see we have the timetable change, the bus stop name changes at the top, and the time points that were changed in the table have been highlighted yellow. Currently, the service starts at 7 a.m. at ITC. We're looking to begin at 6:30 at the garage. The buses live at the garage. The service can start at the garage, and provide a little bit of morning service so folks can get downtown for the first pulse, either at 6:30 or 7:30. Route 15. Route 15 is our West Pittsfield service. Services West Housatonic Street and Lebanon Avenue. For all days, we're looking to, again, simplify the time points, just one in each direction. You'll see the illustrated in the timetable. Like the Route 11, we're looking to remove the bus from the Wayfair Clock Tower Plaza parking lot. Customers will be able to catch the service from Center Street at South Church Street. And currently, the service ends at Lebanon Avenue. It's a bit of an awkward driveway cutout situation. We are looking to extend the route just one more road part of the west to Callahan Drive, provides a better connection to area employment, also allows us to establish more of a defined terminal for the route. For weekdays, we're looking to improve the weekday service a bit by starting at 5:30 a.m. This would help shift workers get to the numerous industries on West Housatonic Street before the 6 a.m. shift time. And in the evenings, we're also going to add a little bit more so those folks can get back to the station for connecting routes, and you'll see that in the timetable. For Saturdays, we're looking to do exactly the same thing, except the service will begin at 9 a.m. instead of 5:30 a.m. In the left-hand picture, we have the current service. The bus comes down West Housatonic Street, hooks a left into Lebanon Avenue, hangs out here for a bit, and then continues on Lebanon Avenue. Under this proposal, we would continue as normal down West Housatonic Street, continuing to Callahan Drive, servicing Callahan Drive, and then returning to the station via Lebanon Avenue as current. For Route 15, this is the proposed timetable. ITC, we've established Platt Park as the time point midway in the route. Terminal, time point back to the station. Service will begin at 5:30 a.m., ending at 6:30 p.m. For Saturdays, again, the same time, bus stop name changes at the top. Same service, except it begins at 9 a.m., ending at 6:30 p.m. Route 16. Route 16 is currently the service that travels from ITC down North Street to Crane Avenue before ending at Allendale Plaza. We are looking to eliminate this service and replace it with a combination of service on other bus routes. For instance, customers may access Allendale Plaza under this proposal via routes 1, 12, or 14. Customers may also retain access to Berkshire Medical Center via Route 4 or the new variant Route 5B. Customers may also access North Street, Crane Avenue, and the Oak Hill Apartments, like I mentioned, via Route 5B and the proposed demand service location at Oak Hill Apartments. Route 21 is one of our South County routes. It services between Lee and Great Barrington via Stockbridge. For all days, we are looking to enhance service to Simon's Rock by offering service every other hour, so every 120 minutes. We're also going to amend service to the hospital every 120 minutes and to Claretique Senior Center every 120 minutes. These services overall have lower ridership demand, and the route is currently very much overburdened. And we need to make some service efficiencies. We want to retain service to every location as possible. However, not every location may retain the same frequency of service, but should be able to still get one. And this is what I mean by that. So currently we have the Route 21 timetable displayed on the screen. The highlighted portions demonstrate the alternating service between Simon's Rock, the hospital, and the Senior Center. So you can see on the 7:30 trip here, The bus would not service Simon's Rock, but it would service the hospital, Fairgrounds Plaza, Clara Teague Senior Center, and then back to the hospital before continuing north to Lee. And on the next trip at 8:30, that bus would service Simon's Rock. At 9:15, would not service the hospital, Fairgrounds Plaza, Simon's Rock, before traveling in the northbound direction. And that just rinse, washes, repeats throughout the day. Okay, and on Saturdays, we would be offering exactly the same service, and it would alternate like the weekdays. Route 21X is our Pittsfield to Great Barrington Express route that services Lenox Center, Stockbridge Center, and Great Barrington. The only change we're proposing is under the 22 proposal you'll see here in a second. We are looking to revert the 21X back to its standard 5:30 round trip departure from ITC. It would then arrive and depart from the Fairgrounds Plaza at 6:15, arriving back downtown Pittsfield at 7 o'clock. With the only other addition to this route being Simon's Rock in the northbound direction on the inbound trip of the express bus. And that's illustrated here. So currently there are 3 trips to the Route 21 Express, 6 a.m., 7 a.m., and 5:30 p.m. Under this proposal, we would revert back to what the Route 21 Express was doing before we implemented the Route 22. Leaves Pittsfield ITC at 5:30, arrives at Fairgrounds Plaza at 6:15, serves as Simon's Rock, and then travels north back to Pittsfield ITC at 7 p.m. For Route 22 is a pilot evening route that we are losing grant funding for. So unfortunately, that route is being discontinued under this proposal. Route 34 is our North Adams circulator. That's one more thing. Route 22 is a pilot evening service. It currently only operates between 6:15 p.m. and 9:45 p.m. in the evenings. It's only 3.5 hours of service per day. That's the pilot portion, and this Great Barrington circulator is proposed to be discontinued. Now we get to Route 34. Route 34 is the North Adams circulator, we'll refer to as North Adams Loop. For all days, we're looking to reorientate the printed timetables to highlight connections at Main Street North Adams, and I'll illustrate that in a second. We are looking to slightly enhance service by connecting with the first bus arriving from Williamstown at 6:15 a.m. That bus actually becomes the Route 34, traveling south to Walmart North Adams with connections to the first Route 1 bus. Under this proposal, we're able to maintain the quite popular expanded evening service. The bus currently operates till about 10:30 in the evening. For Saturdays, the first Route 34 bus will actually arrive as the Route 1 from Pittsfield ITC. So if you're in Pittsfield, you can catch the bus as the Route 1, travel all the way to Main Street North Adams. The bus you're on will just stay on it and continue up to Main Street North Adams for connections with the 3. And in the evening, the opposite would be true. If you catch the bus at Main Street North Adams as the Route 34, you ride that bus, same vehicle, all the way to Pittsfield, downtown Pittsfield ITC. This is the weekday schedule. You can see we have reoriented the schedule to highlight connections at Main Street North Adams. Every hour starting at 6:15 a.m. to 10:20 p.m. with the service day ending at 10:30, where the bus becomes Route 1, travels back to Pittsfield ITC. And for Saturdays, the first trip begins at 7:30 in the morning, service continually until 7:30 in the evening. Okay, and now the microtransit pilot service. Microtransit is something we're looking to kind of have a demonstrator for, a pilot service, so to speak, within a pilot service area. To begin with, let's provide a definition. So microtransit is a form of public transit service that operates with smaller vehicles, usually 9, 10, 12 passenger vehicles, between specific origins and destinations as booked by a customer. As part of the service, customers must pre-register with the authority before booking trips. And by that, I mean a short application, something along the lines of a registration form, yet to be defined. The service will be marketed differently from the traditional BRTA fixed route and ADA paratransit services. So it's really its own little mode. For the pilot program, we're looking to offer service probably Monday through Friday, roughly 7:30 a.m., 7:30 p.m. It would require use of the authority's existing cashless fare payment system that is called RM Pay. It would not be using the same fare payment system as the fixed route, which is the Charlie card, and we would not accept cash on the vehicles. That would be explained in the registration process. An account would be created. Essentially, a customer loads an account with some funds, and as they use the service, the funds are deducted from the account. They don't have to carry anything with them on the vehicle. All they do is they book the trip, they board, they depart, and everything else is handled. I can mention it would require pre-registration. For the pilot program, the customer would need to have an origin and destination within the pilot service area, and we are looking for feedback as to where that might be it North Adams or Pittsfield or really anywhere else. So we're looking for feedback on that. Because we're using existing resources to start a microtransit pilot program, customers would book their trips through the existing paratransit call center apparatus. Because of that, we would be limiting trips to scheduling this 2 days in advance, including Saturdays. And they would book through the existing call center service, like I mentioned. The trip purposes, at least for the microtransit pilot program, we would be limiting to either work or medical appointments. And that really is to limit demand. We're looking to start a pilot program if there's excess capacity, or we change it and amend it as we move through. That's why it's a pilot program, to kind of figure out a smaller area of what we would like the service to be before we roll it out to a larger service area. As a note, the microtransit would operate like paratransit, where it's a shared ride service. Multiple customers would be on board the vehicle at the same time. It would not be a taxi service where it's one customer, one vehicle per destination. And again, it being a pilot service, we can't really guarantee any minimum trip times, but the goal would be for a trip within the pilot area to be no more than 30 minutes. Other than that, all the other BRTA service rules and policies would apply, and those are listed on the website under Plan Your Trip Rules and Policies, and they're under the BRTA Customer Code of Conduct. And that's it. That is it, Bob.
Thank you, Raleigh. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up, hopefully I have it with me. Yeah, there we go. We're going to, here's the agenda that we talked about earlier. We've just run through the service changes. I know there were a couple of questions in the chat. And I'm going to stop sharing. Well, let me go back here. We'll get to those. Then we're going to open up. We'll give you a little bit of ground rules on the public comments. They are going to have to be 3 minutes in length, relevant to the topics that we're talking about this evening, and that's the presentation. And I encourage everyone who's on the call to please submit a written comment. Even though you're participating now, it may start you thinking about different aspects of the service, the different slides that you saw, the different routes that you saw, and it might get you some other thoughts behind it. The links are here lower down. It's from the website, info@Berkshire-RTA. You can send us an email. The old-fashioned way, you can write us a letter and address it to the BRTA at 1 Columbus Avenue, Suite 201 in Pittsfield. Or you can call the 800 number 292-2782, extension 2895. It's a non-monitored voice mailbox. You can leave a 3-minute message, and they will be transcribed afterwards and included in the comments. We've already received emails, we've received a letter, and we've also received a voicemail from customers. So please feel free to continue on with that. So Raleigh, we've got June's here. Thank you, June, for being here. One question that she had for us was how many riders are negatively affected by the changes? I don't know if I have a number for you right now. I can try and put that into like a remix application and see what that could present for us. But we can certainly get back to you on that.
So the goal is to have as few folks negatively affected as possible, and that's why we are proposing some mitigating changes. And we know that we're limiting service from a few areas, but we're hoping to supplement it with just a little bit of different service. So hopefully as few people as possible.
And their final question was, will paratransit have the same evening hours as the buses? Absolutely. So as long as the buses are running, paratransit is, especially in those communities where it's being served. And I have a new person here on the phone. Just wondering if we can get an identification of this person so I can put it in the notes, because our public information, we have to document all the parties that were here. And a first name would be fine.
Maybe if they're having a hard time unmuting. I believe it's pound to unmute if you're on the phone.
Okay.
Well, hopefully you'll be able to get to that at some point.
Okay. Okay, so we've covered the chat questions. We have talked about the ground rules. So if anyone has a question, you can either raise your hand if you're doing this via Zoom, or if you're on the phone,
You have to hit *9 to raise your hand if you're on the phone.
Okay, if you do *9 if you're on the phone and you want to ask a question, we can do that. Okay, I am
ready. 2-0. Well, I think the main point is that we really want to hammer across the point that we are accepting comment in multiple avenues, many ways, writing, verbally. And even if today, if you don't have a question, or if you think of a question, you can absolutely send it off to the group at info@berkshirerta.com. And that's the same email address you can use for comments. You can even ask questions, like I just mentioned. And the voicemail box is quite popular. If you call the 1-800 number, just leave a message up to 3 minutes. It's as good as gold in a public hearing.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know if we want to continue if there's any other questions that we might be able to answer. If not, we can terminate the session here at like 7:19 p.m. And going once, going twice. I guess we're out.
Okay, I appreciate it. Well, thank you everyone for attending. I really appreciate it.
Right. And thank you for your questions and comments that will be coming in. Bye now.